Welcome to Witchcraft History. Today I'm going into Rome and the magic and birth of Christianity. The Roman goddess Diana is one of the most important figures in witchcraft and has greatly influenced the feminist view of the Wiccan religion. But Rome also feared witchcraft as socially subversive. Meanwhile, the emergence of Christianity spelled doom for the pagan beliefs that had stood at the heart of the Greco-Roman world for hundreds of years. The Roman Empire occupies an important place in the history of witchcraft. Such was its wide-ranging dominance that it provided a bridge from the ancient world, the world of the Sumerians, Egyptians, Persians, Babylonians, and Greeks, into the Christian era in Europe. It also provided a tradition of centralized government, which meant that any faith that could dominate that center had a very strong chance of becoming the dominant faith. As we shall see, one faith did just that. The Romans, too, were generally suspicious of witchcraft and magic, other than that which was supported by the state, consulting oracles, for example. For them, it was just another subversive element in a world where order always seemed to be under attack from chaos. Yet the Romans also bequeathed us the legacy of one of the most powerful goddesses of the ancient world, a goddess who was to have a huge influence on the development of the modern witchcraft religion. There is little doubt of all the goddesses associated with witchcraft, Diana stands out as one of the most important. In the Greek world, she was known as Artemis, and many of the great myths associated with Diana come from her Greek form. She was also identified with the Egyptian goddess Isis. Yet it is under her Roman guise that Diana is best known and most worshipped. It is certainly the name by which she is generally revered by modern witches. In fact, this goddess has given her name to the Dianic tradition of modern Wicca, a tradition that grew out of the feminist movement in the United States in the 1970s. It is not difficult to see why Diana should appeal to so many women in witchcraft. She is the maiden goddess, independent, free spirit, and beholden to no one, including any man. Diana is also a moon goddess who exemplifies the waxing of the moon, an important time in witchcraft for carrying out magical rituals. For some, she represents the moon in its entirety. The headstrong daughter of Juniper, or Jupiter, Zeus, and the twin of Apollo, Diana, Artemis, was also strongly identified with childbirth. Her mother Leto was said to have suffered great pain in giving birth to her twin Apollo, and Artemis helped ease that suffering by acting as a midwife. Women have traditionally offered prayers to Artemis or Diana to help soothe their pain in childhood. The great Roman goddess Diana was known as a hunter and was often depicted with a hound by her side, reflecting her passion for hunting. Diana, Artemis to the Greeks, was seen by the Romans as an immensely powerful goddess who was associated with nature and the countryside, as well as with hunting. Known as a warrior, queen, or goddess, she has been powerful in history and still has an influence in modern witchcraft. As the goddess of the hunt, Diana was a fierce and aggressive goddess side to her character. As shown by her well-known portrayal as a goddess of the hunt. The story goes that while still young, Diana displayed such a love for the wild that her father gave her a bow and arrow and a pack of hunting hounds so she could run through the wilderness, able to look after herself and to protect others. This is an important part and aspect of the goddess Diana. She is closely identified with helping out those who needed protection, both animals and humans, and in particular with helping those women who have been brutalized by men. One famous Greek myth involving Artemis shows this protective, vengeful side. The hunter Actaeon had the misfortune to spot Artemis and her nymphs bathing naked in a pool. Artemis not only turned him into a stag, but also set the hunter's own hounds on him, allowing them to tear him into pieces. The goddess also once sent a giant wild boar to destroy the harvests of King Oannes because he had forgotten to include her in his rounds of sacrifice. It is also significant that Diana, who in one guise was known as Lady of Wild Things, is associated with nature and the countryside. As modern witchcraft identifies itself very strongly with all things natural, some people indeed believe that Diana was disparaged by those in the Roman city-dwelling elite. Those who saw her as a deity of the rural people and as an outsider. In the 19th and 20th centuries, writers such as Charles Leland and Margaret Murray designed and suggested that witch cults worshiping Diana had survived through to the 19th century, or at least until they were wiped out during the witch craze of the 16th and 17th centuries. These groups were supposed to have survived in more remote, rural districts. There is no credible evidence of this. However, it is thought that the worship of Diana did survive as long as the 5th or 6th century AD in some outlying areas. And during later centuries, Diana was revived, at least in the minds of Christians who linked her image with witchcraft, witches, and the devil. In the early years of Christianity, there was perhaps some anger towards Diana among some of its followers. This is hinted at in excavations near the site of the once fabulous ancient temple dedicated to her that is now in modern Turkey. It was sacked by the gods in the 3rd century AD. This vast temple was one of the 7 wonders of the world. The discoveries apparently included a pit where Christians had broken and discarded many statues of the old pagan gods they despised. 2 statues of Artemis or Diana survived intact, however. This has prompted speculation that the statues were spared because some early Christians saw links between the virgin goddess Diana and the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus. Whether this is true or not, Mary is certainly supposed to have lived and possibly died in Ephesus. And even now, there is a house and a church dedicated to her there. It is interesting how legends of the Virgin Mother of God become entangled with those of ancient goddesses such as Diana and also Isis. One of the strengths of the Christian church, and one of the reasons for its spread across different cultures, has been its ability to assimilate other beliefs and icons. Aradia, linked to Diana, is the rather confusing story of Aradia. Aradia is the leading character of the book Aradia, Gospel of the Witches, published by the American folklorist Charles Leland in 1899. Leland claimed the story came from a witch called Madalena, whom he met in Italy and whom supposedly provided him with stories and traditions from what she claimed was surviving witch cult associated with Diana. According to the story, Diana was well known as the Queen of Witches, and Aradia was her daughter. Diana sent Aradia to Earth to teach the secrets of witchcraft to the poor and the oppressed, so they may fight against their rulers. Few people now take seriously Leland's or Madalena's claims that there was any surviving witch cult based on Diana or anyone else. The importance of Aradia, however, is that she is often worshipped as an aspect of the goddess by modern witches and Wiccans. The name Aradia is derived from Herodias, the wife of King Herod in the New Testament, whose own name was at times linked with Diana. Another important religious aspect to come out of the Roman Empire was the rites of Bacchanalia, the orgasmic activities of the followers of the god Bacchus. They were the Roman version of the Dionysian mystery rites in honor of the Greek god Dionysus. The reputed drinking, feasting, and sexual excesses were such that the Roman Senate felt obligated to outlaw them in 186 BC. The key characteristics of these rites included secret meetings at night, initiation rituals, torchlit meetings held in caves, excessive eating and drinking, and wild, untamed sex. Their importance to the history of witchcraft is that these powerful images painted by contemporary writers such as Livy were to influence later European thought about witches. The historian's description of the Bacchanalia became an important part in the literary tradition of European witchcraft. I hope you enjoyed this history of witchcraft's audio. If you're interested, subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more. I love to share history. And if you are a practicing witch, I hope you're enjoying these videos. Thank you for listening. Many blessings to you. Have a great day.